Hello, everyone. This is Adam. I just wanted to make a quick thing about how to get over germophobia, and if you're dealing with germophobia as part of the pandemic. There's some people there's millions of people right now that even after they're fully vaccinated, they don't want to go out, they don't want to do things, and I just want to let you know that it's not that bad, out there. The COVID is in retreat, and the so-called Delta variant doesn't seem like it's going to take off like all the other variants. Um, Maybe that will change, but the thing is, we're already at 68% of adults in America have gotten at least one shot of vaccine. Um, Over 100 million Americans have gotten and recovered from COVID so far. So I feel like we're pretty much close to herd immunity. Um, we're just gonna have to learn to live with COVID. Unless like 90% of adults get vaccinated, which I don't see happening, we're just gonna have to live with COVID, just like we did with the flu. The flu never went away. They just kept coming back every year, and you know, the Spanish flu pandemic only lasted 2 years, from 1918 till 1920. And people just got tired of it. They got tired of social distancing. They got tired of wearing masks. They got tired of all that. And they just stopped doing it and dealt with the consequences every year, which was the flu. But could you imagine if they continued doing that shit? There wouldn't be the Roaring Twenties. There wouldn't be jazz. There wouldn't be New York wouldn't have been built. You know, most of the buildings in New York, a lot of those buildings were built in the 1920s. You know, the Harlem Renaissance wouldn't have happened. I mean, a lot of stuff wouldn't have happened if the people decided that, hey, this Spanish flu shit should still go on. You know, people just got tired of it. And you can see around the world that people have gotten tired of COVID, even in England, even in California. A lot of people are just not wearing masks anymore, not caring about it. Even though there's the so called Delta variant, and I know that there's going to be other variants, Lambda variant, South African variant, whatever, And the thing is, now they're saying that the vaccines are only like maybe 70% effective at this point with the Delta variant. And the thing is, yeah, okay, well, duh. You tested the vaccine against one variant. Of course, it was going to be 95% effective against that. And everyone's like, oh, well, Johnson & Johnson's only 70 something percent effective but Johnson & Johnson was tested against all the variants. That's why it's so-called less effective. So the thing is, all those vaccines are effective, and we just need everyone to take as many vaccines as possible. And then if you don't want to take the vaccine, that's on you. That is on you. And I could care less at this point. I'm fully vaccinated. I'm ready to go out. And if you're in your house, not going to restaurants and stuff like that, that's your choice. But the thing is, you got to get out there at some point, especially if you're young. Okay? If you're young, you're in your 30s or 40s, 20s through 40s, go out there and go to a restaurant. Okay? Go to a restaurant, go sit inside. You're not going to get COVID. I guarantee it. Go to a park, do something. Because, you can't live your life in fear. And the thing is, there's germs everywhere. Okay? You being a germaphobe and living in your house is not going to make you escape from germs, because guess what? Germs are in your house. You literally have to wear a hazmat suit outside, which I don't think a lot of people are doing, and come inside to one of a place where there's no germs. Like, how like they have these labs where, um, they cleanse everything and there's no germs anywhere, and basically you have to be in a breathing apparatus because there's almost no air in there. That's what would have to be for there to be no germs. But we can't live like that. The world is dirty. There's trillions of bacteria, viruses, um, pollutants, allergens out there. You're not going to be able to protect yourself from all that. Your immune system is wonderful. I know there's immune compromised people, but you know that only makes up a small percentage. And the thing is, we never really cared about immune compromised people during the flu. But now all of a sudden we're caring about it. It's like, well, we have to wear a mask because of immune compromised. Why? We didn't do it for the flu. Why are we doing it now? Why all of a sudden now? When the rate of COVID deaths in America is very similar to the flu right now. And if it continues with more vaccinations and rates going down, it might even be less lethal than the flu, to be honest, after this year is over. That's what I think. If you ever get to 80% of adults being vaccinated, which I don't think it'll get there, we might get to 70 something percent, 70, maybe 74 at the most, unless it gets FDA approved. But I just don't see it happening. There's too many people that are, want to wait for a year or so until the vaccine is proven or whatever. And that's their choice. I went and got it because I had thyroid cancer, and I was like, okay, well, either I get this vaccine or I get COVID. And then after I got vaccinated, I still had to wear a mask and stuff. And then I was like, this is stupid. Why do I have to wear a mask after I get vaccinated? And then the CDC said, oh, you don't have to. And now all of a sudden, they want to change it and say, oh, well, you might have to wear one for the Delta variant. You might have to do it for this. And it's like, at this point, I'm not listening to what they're saying, because I'm already moved on. And we need to move on. We need to move on with life. I don't want people to live in their house all their life. I mean, that's just a sad life. If you do that, because of this pandemic, you're going to be in your house for like what, 10 years or 5 years or whatever, 5 years from now, or like let's say it's 2026 or something, and then you come out of your house and you're like, man, okay, well, I'm ready to do stuff now. Well, you just missed 5 years or 6 years of your life that you can't get back. You know what I mean? You could have gone places. You could have, you know what I mean? But you just had to sit in your house for that long. I mean, come on. You got to get over it. Eventually, you got to get over it. It is a mental illness to be afraid of germs because, like I said, germs are everywhere. Um, you have to trust your immune system. You have to build up your immune system by going out there and getting sick and getting over these things. And most of the time, people don't get sick because our immune system is great. Our immune system is constantly fighting off germs, everybody. We survived for millions of years of worse diseases, okay? Yes, there's diseases that like have almost wiped us out. Like literally like wiped out like a third of the population of the earth. I think the Black Plague did that. A third of the population of the earth was almost wiped out, okay? And yet we're still here. Okay? We are still here because that's just what we do. We survive. We survive, and that's what's needed. Anyway, um so anyway, everybody, just learn to get out there, learn to deal with your germophobia, and stop worrying about these variants. Turn off the news, and let's just move on. Bye.